welcome to our 30th 4-H Tropicana Public Speaking Contest for the 6th grade division. And before we get started, I'd just like everyone to give all of our speakers a big hand for getting to this contest. This morning we had our school board superintendent, Mr. Jackie Pons, come by and extend congratulations and good luck to all of our speakers for today. It is none other than Miss Fiona Therese.
Thank you. Our
2015 third place winner in the homeschool division. She was so anxious to get the opportunity this year, and fate would have it that she did get an opportunity to serve as our student MC this year. So we're very excited to have her. She'll be introducing all of our wonderful speakers. And so at this time, let's give her a hand as she comes.
Our first speaker is Meredith Cameron from homeschool, which is speech is from a soccer ball's perspective.
On any given day, I will get kicked, punched, thrown, and people will cheer at my demise. I love the game of soccer, but has anyone ever stopped and thought what a soccer ball must be experiencing through its lifetime? No? Well, I have, but in order to appreciate this perspective, you'll first need to know about my 3 main topics: the anticipation of the field, the strange color and culture, and the physical experience. At the beginning of the season, I sit on the metal shelf, eagerly awaiting the moment when a young girl or boy will pick me up and free me from this door shelf prison. As I wait, I look left, right, up, and down at the colorful array of balls competing for attention. I think to myself, do I have what it takes to be picked up by a kid with pink shoes and a day-glow shirt? And then I stop and think, do I really want to be seen with this kid? Gosh, I guess I do. And then, freedom is finally upon me. And what does the kid do? He throws me in his musty soccer bag with some ripe cleats, and off we go. After being chosen, what does the kid do? He slams me down, unzips the bag, and out I roll. I instantly smell fresh cut grass and cheap scented hair gel. I look around, then wish I hadn't. I am bombarded with strange colors that should never go together and that an athlete should not wear. The balls are no different, just as garish as the kid with the pink shoes and the day-glow shirt. And I say to myself, goodbye black and white. As I stretch out into the sun, what do you know? I'm kicked in the face. I land in the back of the net. As I look back, I see a strange dance ritual. In other words, the celebration of a goal. After enduring questionable fashion statements, I realize being a soccer ball is not for the faint of heart. Endless bodily suffering is what best describes me out on the pitch or field for you beginners. When a person experiences being hurt in any way, it usually will leave a visible mark or an emotional scar. But me? Nah, I barely have time to collect my thoughts before I get hit once again. Why? 22 people are charging in at me with intense focus and no regard for my health or well-being. Now that we have kicked around the perspective of the ball by first anticipating the field, next by being inundated by the strange color and culture, and finally experiencing the distressing physical abuse endured, you've probably guessed life isn't always a ball. I do get kicked, punched, thrown, and dribbled, but the cheers when I land in the back of the net are worth it.
How did you get the idea for your speech?
Well, I love to play soccer, and so I thought it would just be fun to do it from a soccer ball's point of view.
Why did you choose to write it?
Well, as I said, I really love soccer.
Oh, thank you.
It's a lazy Saturday afternoon. I'm engrossed in the amazing world of online video games, clicking myself to the next level. I'm nearly there. Ananda! I hear the familiar sound of my mom. What? Still haven't done the laundry, taken out the trash, and the list goes on. You get it right. My online explorations always encounter my parents' droning voice. Except for reading miscellaneous articles on someone's life story or something along the lines of that, My parents always have a good reason on why I shouldn't be using electronics. Not only that, they tell me that screen time affects my brain, eyes, sleep, and life in general. Apparently, according to the US Department of Health, your child should not have more than 2 hours of screen time a day. But let's face it, with 8 hours of school, 8 hours of sleep, a few hours of homework, and some extracurricular activities, where do I get those 2 hours? And moreover, let's not forget the 15-minute lecture I get from my parents for doing something petty. My parents also tell me that I need to spend more time outside than playing on the computer or watching TV. Okay, I admit, I do enjoy soccer and tennis, but who am I supposed to play with? All the neighborhood kids are online. So when I tell them that, they tell me to enjoy nature itself. What am I supposed to do? Stroll around the park and be like, oh my gosh, look at the tree! Are my eyes deceiving me, or is that a bird? Again, they bring up the harmful effects of electronics, but then, research done by the American psychologist cites many benefits of kids spending time online. For example, increasing their natural reflexes, and also getting ready for the future. I don't think I'll be able to settle this argument one way or the other, so let me get straight to the resolution. One day, my mom was in a bad mood. After showing her a funny YouTube clip, I was able to cheer up immediately. Another day, my dad was on the interstate, desperately wanting a nice, soothing cup of coffee. Got on his iPhone, read on Siri, and found one in the blink of an eye. The look of wonder on his face said it all. Gradually, my parents had begun to use technology in many ways, many which they might not have done before. And I realized that the argument was not against technology, but the misuse of technology. So when your parents are mad, call Siri. She may be able to help. I say this is a happy resolution, wouldn't you?
How do you think you will control your children with the internet when you grow up?
Like 2 hours a day?
Why did you choose to write the speech about internet?
Well, I get the same talk every day, so, personal experience.
Thank you.
We all know Julius Caesar as that one amazing Roman emperor, the one that got stabbed. But in my house, Julius Caesar is my cat. If you really want to hear the tale of Julius Caesar, we have to start from the beginning. When I was a youngin', 5 or so, my parents and I needed a kitten. It was the only cure to the rare disease, kitten snuggleithitis. It gives you uncontrollable crying and a strange sensation to cuddle with any bag of cat food you see. My parents and I, we were severely suffering from kitten snuggleithitis. It was slowly killing us. So enough was enough. My dad called one of his friends, and it turned out her cat gave birth to a new litter of kittens. We had to wait for 6 to 8 weeks before our kitten could come into our custody. But luckily, our doctor told us we had at least 2 months left to survive from kitten snuggleithitis. Finally, as the days approached, we all grew more and more excited. It was the day of my birthday party we got our new Roman emperor. The drive to get Julius, it was the most boring ride of my life. I wondered if a cat was really worth it. Then I remembered the disease. Definitely worth it. Once we made it, I was ecstatic. I was practically jumping for joy. So after knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, and knocking on the door again, finally, my dad's friend Diana decided to come out. Now, knowing adults, whenever another one sees another one, they have to talk for a long 10 minutes about politics and what happened that morning. Anyways, when they stopped yammering, we followed Diana to a house with a tiny little shack out in the back. There were about 12 kittens and 1 mama cat. The mama cat booked it out of that shack, but honestly, if you had 12 babies and you were crammed in a dark space with them, wouldn't you want to run out and have some alone time? Anyways, after Big Mama left, we carefully inspected every kitten. All were boys except for 1 little gray girl, and all were black and gray except for 1 little orange and white boy. As soon as I saw him, I knew it was this kitten that was perfect for me. Mom and Dad suggested a couple of other ones, but I had my heart set on the little orange one. They agreed that if I was happy, they were happy. So after figuring out what he needed and everything, we piled into the car and headed to Petco. I held my new kitten in my lap. As I was doing so, Mom and Dad were having a secret conversation. Matsu, this is one ugly kitten. He's so gangly and his ears don't fit his head. I know, Summer. Why did we get him? Because Jordan wanted him. Or Jordan has really bad kitten taste. But I didn't care. I loved him forever from that point on. Plus, he became a lot better looking with age. Ooh, maybe that works on humans too. Oh, and luckily, we were cured from no kitten to snuggle with us. Thanks.
What does your cat, Julius Caesar, have in common with the real Julius Caesar?
Well, I guess he's kind of regal. I don't know how to put that.
What do you think it would be like if you could live in the life of his, if you could live in a day of his life?
I don't know, I'd probably lick myself clean.
Thank you.
Have you ever dreamed of going to the Kentucky Derby? Well, I have. And that was a dream I thought would never come true. But it did. Today, I'm going to tell you all about the Kentucky Derby and my experience. The Kentucky Derby is an exciting horse race event located in Louisville, Kentucky. It is held at Churchill Downs during spring, and it has been around for 141 years. When I heard the news that I'd be going to the Kentucky Derby, I was absolutely astonished. So we went to the airport and flew to Kentucky. The morning of the Derby, my dad and I got ready, but we were both so excited we could barely eat. That day, we met up with our group, and there was a limo waiting outside for us, which pumped me up even more. As I walked excitedly through the big open gates, I felt like I was on top of the world. There's this tradition where people, ladies especially, wore big fancy hats, and indeed, there were hundreds and thousands of hats. I was wearing a hat I had made. It was white, floppy, and had 3 flowers on it. Once we got settled into the area we were sitting in, we went down to where the horses were. The horses were beautifully trimmed, and some of their coats looked like melted chocolate, with the sun beaming down on it. We hurried back up the stairs. Just thinking of the Derby put my heart on fire. Then we went outside, and all I could smell was cigars and mint julep, a famous adult beverage. But I could have cared less. The gross smell was totally worth it. Some nice ladies let me stand on a chair in their box because I was the shortest person there. When I heard the trumpet sound and the announcer shout, "And they're off," I thought I was going to explode. My eyes were locked on American Pharoah, a horse competing the whole time. As I watched him, my heart was going 100 miles an hour. And American Pharoah wins. I was so excited. All my stress and butterflies were gone, and my heart was filled with joy. After I had my last piece of carrot cake, we had to go back to the limo. The next day, we went to the airport. While we were waiting, we saw this guy with white hair, and he was well dressed. My dad pointed out to me that was American Pharoah's trainer. I was so excited. So we went over to where he was, congratulated him, and got a picture with him. It turned out we were on the same plane. As we were leaving, I was really sad, but I knew it was an extraordinary memory I will never forget. I can guarantee that.
What first got you interested in the Kentucky Derby?
I ride horses, and so I really love horses, and so I like to watch them and stuff.
Have you ever imagined being a trainer for one of the Kentucky Derby horses?
Definitely.
Thank you.
I want you to close your eyes and imagine the single most greatest movie you've ever seen. Now open them. You're probably thinking of an action-packed movie filled with heartbreak and unexpected twists. Well, so am I. No, I'm not talking about Hunger Games or Harry Potter or even Twilight. I'm talking about The Little Mermaid. And besides our name, we actually have a lot in common. Like our thirst for adventure, our need to be a little creative, and our overwhelming sense of seeing more than what we know is there. Ariel, like most Disney characters, is adventurous. And I like to think of myself as a seeker of adventure. No, I don't get chased by deranged sharks or save daring princes from burning ships, but I do conquer middle school one day at a time. Think,
While Ariel's gathering gadgets and gizmos aplenty, I'm gathering mean looks from 8th graders and homework from teachers that would normally take weeks to finish. So, in a way, my grades would be the prince and school would be the burning ship. Like that doesn't stop Ariel, it definitely doesn't stop me at all. I like to walk through the halls with my fist held high and a can-do attitude. And yes, I know I can be a little awkward and weird and, let's be honest, clumsy at times, but it's just what makes us Ariel special. I mean, who else would show up at her father's appreciation ceremony late? But it's just because curiosity drives our creativity. Take the dingle hopper, for instance. You guys know it's a fork, and I know it's a fork, but she doesn't, so she gave it a name. I do that when I scrapbook. A little bit of glitter, some hot glue, and colorful paper, and bam! A masterpiece. Or in my case, a master of a can. That's Masterpiece in Mermaid. See what I did there? I gave it a name. And, you know, I've always had these strange feelings. Like that secret urge, there's something out there but you don't know exactly what it is. And you guys get that feeling? No? No one? Just me? Yeah, I expected that. Well, I get this feeling all the time. And so did Ariel. She wanted to see the world beyond the waters, just like I want to see the world beyond Florida. I want to go backpacking in Europe, eat spaghetti in Italy, play princess in Buckingham Palace. She got to live out her dreams, so I know that I will too. And if I happen to meet some giddy explorers along the way, we'll all be as close as Flounder and Sebastian to Ariel. You know, little fish and the lobster who never left her side. Yeah, sounds like some friends I know. But it's technically like we're sisters. It's like we're twins, but it's the red hair and colorful towel. She wanted to see the world, and I wanted to see the world. It's a perfect match. This movie released my inner princess by the relating plot. It taught me that everyone's a princess, like you and definitely you. Everyone, no matter where they come from. That's why I love it so much. So tell me, what Disney or Nickelodeon or movie star character releases your inner Ariel?
Why did you choose to write this speech?
Well, when I was not born, my mom and her sister were pretty young. They had a bet that whoever had the first daughter would name her Ariel, and that just happened to be me. I thought that was pretty cool.
What is one thing that you can name right now that you have named out of one of your scrapbooks?
Well, I did a scrapbook of when I first had boba tea, and I thought that was pretty cool, so I took a bunch of pictures, and I just created one. It was one of my first.
Hot to cold, dark to light, gravity to zero gravity. I'm talking about the endless vacuum of space. I dream about going into space. I imagine myself soaring into the atmosphere, seeing other planets, and even passing by the sun. I'll most likely get fried in the process, and that explains why it's a dream. It seems as if the only way to go into space is to become an astronaut, but why do they go into space? Most of them are assigned missions to complete. For example, Neil Armstrong had a mission to land on the moon. Others may just go just because they want to experience what is beyond our world, but becoming an astronaut is not an easy job. It can take years to become a fully qualified astronaut. Some of the many important things they have to learn are medical procedures, different languages, technology, and science. They also must pass a year of advanced training, including the hazards that exist in space. Which leads to the question, what's in space? When you look up at the sky at night, you may see what humans call stars. Stars are made up of very hot gas, which is mostly hydrogen and helium. By burning hydrogen in their cores, it makes them shine bright in the night sky. The galaxy we're most familiar with is the Milky Way galaxy. A galaxy is a group of millions and billions of stars held together by gravitational attraction. There are three types of galaxies: elliptical, spiral, and irregular. Spiral galaxies are the most common. For example, our Milky Way is a spiral. Spirals have a large rotating disk. Elliptical galaxies are egg-shaped, and most of them contain older stars. Irregular galaxies have an irregular shape and are characterized by their structures or lack of them. Everyone knows the 8 planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are inner planets because they are closer to the sun, which makes them hotter. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are outer planets because they are farthest away from the sun, which makes them cooler. There are many ways to learn more about space, such as visiting the Challenger Learning Center or the Kennedy Space Center. You can help astronauts by becoming a part of the Mission Control Center. Those are the people who make sure everyone is safe and working well by using computers and other gadgets. After hearing these facts, would you like to go into space? I sure would. It can create a whole new experience and journey through the endless vacuum of space.
What made you first get interested in space?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Have you ever met someone that is involved with space or helping people with that?
Yes.
Who was it? And what did they do?
I forgot.
Thank you.
Almost every family in America has a computer. Computers provide quick and easy access to the internet and ways to connect with people. Although, to some people, quick and easy is actually arduous and difficult. The best example of these kinds of people are grandparents. 75% of people over the age of 65 agree that they don't even know how to turn on a computer. Grandparents are typically old. No offense to old people, but most of you guys are electronically challenged. Sure, you may know a lot about history and what happened when you were children, but those events are in the past. You guys should start focusing more in the present, right? Right. Whenever I get dropped off at my grandparents' house after school, one of the first things I hear is mumbles of confusion. Honey, how do you turn on the computer? I don't know, Carol. We have a computer? I'm just absolutely shocked and find myself slowly walking back out the door. It angers me knowing that my grandpa doesn't even know what a computer looks like. Our world is covered in them. Old people have no excuses. Everyone living in this generation should know how to at least operate one. My grandma, Carol Griffith, can at least identify one. Computers are a huge part of our generation, and grandparents should throw away the newspapers and learn how to use one. Grandchildren, take a stand. Help find a cure. Watching our elders suffer from the non-computer disease is over. Computers provide so many ways to entertain the human brain. Let's change that 75% to 0%. All it takes is practice, common sense, and a few cookies, which are grandma's favorite, to occupy your learning. Also listen to your awesome grandson.
What do you think technology will be like when you are a grandparent?
I think that people will be flying on cars.
What made you get the idea for this speech?
My grandparents.
Thank you.
I can't stand it. Mom, this broccoli is gross. Is that the way you talk to your mom when she makes dinner? Don't forget, homework tonight, kids. So, why are you telling me? Would your teacher really appreciate that attitude? Obviously, our generation has some major attitude problems. If my parents ever backtalked like that, they would have gotten their mouths splashed out with soap. No, thank you. It's time to change our ways. I mean, why you gotta be so rude? Just imagine if kids today all had positive attitudes. No more disrespect, no more gossiping, and no more backtalk. Here are a few ways to change your attitude and possibly make the world a better place. First, be pleasant and polite. For example, Mother dear, you know how much I adore your scrumptious cooking. However, broccoli does not appeal to my sophisticated palate today. Maybe then your mom will remember that you don't like broccoli and not serve it to you again. Or in response to your homework assignment, say, Mrs. UW, I would be delighted to do all the homework. That's how to be nice and influence teachers. Ding! Compliment, don't cut down. Stop talking bad about people and start finding positive ways to respond when faced with negative people. When your classmate says, "OMG, I can't believe she didn't invite you to her birthday party," you can respond positively instead of gossiping back. "My social calendar is so busy, I couldn't possibly attend the party anyway. I'm sure all the girls invited will have a great time." Words are so powerful. All you have to do is use them right. Finally, you need to always look on the bright side of life. Use happy words or phrases to cheer up you and your friends. Serendipity. That's a word that makes you feel good. Geronimo. Geronimo! What a lively, adventurous word. I'm feeling very effervescent today. If you use exciting words, you can turn any bad attitude into a heaping harmonious bundle of goodness with a cherry on top and a pile of sugar cakes. Okay. Gandhi said, "You must be the change you wish to see in the world." So start with your attitude. Use positive words in a pleasant tone. Compliment, don't cut down. And last, use words that make you feel good. And if you ever need a really special word to cheer you up, use the word that never fails to make me smile. You want the word? I'll give you the word. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Do you ever try to repair mistakes when you say something rude to somebody? Do you ever try to repair it?
I try if I don't usually try to have a bad attitude, and if it's just one of those days, I try to keep everything to myself. So yes, I do try to be nice to people as much as possible.
What made you get the idea?
Actually, somebody did a play of Mary Poppins, so I wanted to somehow fit supercalifragilisticexpialidocious into my speech. So I said, why not attitude? Because that word makes everybody feel good.
Thank you.
Do you ever daydream or just fall asleep in class? Do these dreams mean something to you? Well, I dream every night, and so does everyone else in the world. Some people say that they don't dream. This isn't true. It only means that you don't remember your dream. Whether it's a daydream or a dream that you experience at night, I believe that all dreams are a gateway to your past, present, and future. Some dreams are so important they're impossible to forget. Most of my dreams are important, such as my dream of the future with my family being brighter than the sun, by going to an amusement park without having an argument of which one to go to. Dreams are visual emotions, expressions, and experiences. Unfortunately, this occurs while you're sleeping during the REM sleep cycle. This is unfortunate because some dreams are so fantasized and exciting that they should happen in real life. Some dreams are signs. These visual encounters can and do come true. My dream came true when I dreamed to live in a bigger house, or when a celebrity dreams of a role in a movie and gets the part. Some people like me have two definitions of dreams. One is what you do at night, and the other is what you work hard at every day in life. You may recognize these as goals. One of my goals is to pass the FSA and my midterms. In addition, many people dream of better things or a better life. I mean, who wouldn't? The dream that Martin Luther King Jr. had was for all people to be equal and together in harmony. This proves that dreams can and do come true because this is what's happening right here and right now. We're all here together, not worrying about what's on the outside, but what's on the inside. His dream helped him and others get through life. His dream helped me get through some of my hard situations because now I can go to any school and I don't face any form of racism. My ultimate dream is for everyone to believe that dreams are real. Dreams or goals benefit people in so many ways. They push you to aim for a high position at a job or reach your highest potential in school. Dreams are like magic. They're a break from this chaotic yet wonderful thing called life. I hope that all of your dreams come true.
dreams that meant anything special to you?
Yes, when I moved into a bigger house and went to summer break.
How did you get the idea to write this speech, or what inspired you?
Well, when my teacher told us to do some research for some topics, I just thought about what I had, the dream that I had last night, and I just wrote about it.
Thank you.
What is the main reason people go to SeaWorld? I believe people go to SeaWorld to see the main attraction, which is the orca shows. Once inside the gates of SeaWorld, people are ecstatic to see the killer whales perform tricks in the water. Little do they know that orca whales in captivity experience shorter lifespans, they live in highly restricted environments, and they show signs of stress as a result of captivity. I intend to convince you that keeping orcas in captivity is abusive, unnatural, and should come to an end. For instance, captivity decreases orca lifespan. The average lifespan for orcas in the wild is 30 to 50 years. Most orca whales only live up to the age of 25 in captivity. Of the 145 orcas that have been taken into captivity worldwide, only 14% remain alive today. In captivity, the orca's teeth begin to decay and are frequently broken down from chewing the sides of the retaining pools. Many die of bacterial infections of unknown origin. Bacterial pneumonia, appendicitis, neck injuries, traumatic shock, brain abscess, heart attack, ruptured aorta, and malnutrition. The list goes on. In addition, orca whales in captivity live in highly restricted environments that lead to high stress levels. Many orcas in captivity spend most of their time swimming at the surface of shallow pools, which causes dorsal fin collapse. This occurs in less than 1% of the wild population. An orca at SeaWorld will have to swim the circumference of the main pool more than 1,400 times to match the 100-mile daily distance traveled in the wild. Additional stress is caused by orca calves being removed at birth from their mothers, whereas in the wild, calves often remain with their mothers for life. Orcas in captivity are not able to experience the bonding that occurs in the wild through swimming and pause and experience their own pod language. The controversial topic of keeping orcas in captivity has become so serious that a California Congressman, Democratic Representative Adam Schiff, recently introduced legislation called the Orca Responsibility and Care Arrangements Act to ensure that orcas now at aquatic parks such as SeaWorld are the last ones and they cannot be bred nor replaced when they die. In conclusion, since captive orcas have shorter lifespans, live in highly restricted natural environments, and experience extreme stress, surely I have convinced you that keeping these magnificent creatures in captivity should come to an end. I urge you to support legislation to ban the practice of keeping orcas in captivity. If you've ever seen an orca in the wild, there is nothing more magnificent than seeing these animals in their natural habitat. Please join me to free the orcas.
What can I do right now to help the orcas in captivity?
Well, maybe stop buying merchandise at SeaWorld. You could help maybe donate some money, or because I'm not going to buy anything at SeaWorld when I go on my field trip, because I know that it's important for the orcas to stay alive and survive.
How did this speech catch your eye?
Well, I saw it on the news, and I really I was thinking about a topic from a Tropicana speech, and I thought this would be perfect because I have sympathy for the orcas, I feel bad for the orcas in captivity, and so.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Chipotle, Chipotle, Chipotle. Sounds good, right? No. Let's just start with this. Have you ever heard of the vine, "Oh my God, I love Chipotle. Chipotle is my life, y'all." What you probably didn't know is that it can actually cost you your life. Over past months, athletes reported at hospitals that they were having gastrointestinal problems. In Boston, Chipotle restaurants have been temporarily shut down for health inspections.
Some college students think they might have contracted E. coli connected to Chipotle's outbreak. This tragic incident has affected more than 50 people in the past fall. According to NBC News, chicken was being cooked at a very low temperature. Chipotle's outbreak is crazy. News reporters also found out that employees showing signs of foodborne illness. Chipotle's widespread E. coli outbreak has now made 52 people in 9 different states sick. Simi Valley location passed a health inspection, but it was found to have broken health code violations, which included insufficient food temperatures. About the same time as the Simi Valley fracas, 17 other Chipotle locations were linked to a salmonella outbreak. This was caused by contaminated tomatoes. Chipotle is unsure of what caused this outbreak. It has vowed to adopt stricter food policies in the wake of this mess. According to NBC News report, shares have dropped about 30% from their all-time high of $758.61. The company achieved this money over 2015 summer. Now think if your mom or your dad or just some of your friends ask which restaurant you want to go to, I highly recommend something other than Chipotle. Remember, you can get very sick, not only but end up in the hospital. If you contracted E. coli, there's a possibility of death. E. coli is a foodborne disease spelled E.coli. If you end up in the hospital, I won't be there with flowers. I'll be there to say, I told you so. So let me break it down for you. Do not eat at Chipotle. But at the end of the day, eating at Chipotle is all up to you.
How did you hear about the E. coli outbreak of Chipotle?
Well, I was just on Google and it popped up on news.
Have you ever eaten at Chipotle before?
No, because when I seen the pepper sign, I don't like spicy food. So.
Thank you.
669 lives, 669 family trees, 669 children saved from horrible deaths. One humble man, working, using all his resources to save 669 children. This man showed bravery and skill. His name is Sir Nicholas Winton, and this is his story. In December 1938, Nicholas Winton, a 29-year-old stockbroker from London, was leaving on a ski vacation when he received a call from his friend to go to Prague, Czechoslovakia instead. When he got there, he saw that war was about to break out, and the Jewish children were in danger because of Hitler's approaching army. The Jewish war refugees stayed in camps with almost no food or water. It broke Winton's heart to see them suffer and think of their grim future. Winton's life revolved around this motto: if something is not impossible, then there must be a way of doing it. Using fake letterhead and forged travel documents, Winton quickly started an organization that would get the Jewish children out of Prague and into London's host families. In March 1939, Winton began placing the children on trains bound for London. The goodbyes were tearful and gut-wrenching. The children, some young as a year old, were scared. The parents put on a brave face but worried the trains would be stopped. Or worse, they would never see their children again. When the war ended, the children's parents had sadly not survived. The children began a new life in London with their host families. For almost 50 years, the children did not know who had rescued them. In 1988, Winton's wife found a list of forged travel documents in the attic of their home. When questioned, Winton explained that he did what any reasonable Christian would have done in that situation. Winton was invited to a London television show to tell a story. In a poignant moment, the host asked, "Is there anyone in our audience tonight who owes their life to Sir Nicholas Winton? If so, could you please stand up?" The entire audience quietly rose to their feet. Winton's eyes filled with tears as the children quietly rose to their feet. There are now over 5,000 direct descendants of these 669, all because of one man. He did not do it for praise, he did not do it for recognition, he did it because he saw a need and he had the ability to meet that need.
Have you ever conquered anything as important as he did? Or have you ever tried to?
I would have to say no.
What made you write this speech?
Well, as a World War II nerd and a history nerd, I enjoy learning about people who served in the military or saved people from concentration camps, and so this story just stuck out for me.
Thank you.
Did you know that a giraffe can live up to 30 years? Giraffes are unique with their habitat, appearance, and importance. They're one-of-a-kind animals. Giraffes are important because other animals feed on them. Then the remains go into the ground and nourish the soil for more trees and other plants to grow for younger giraffes and other small mammals. If they weren't around, other species wouldn't be either. Giraffes mostly live in South Africa and a little in Kenya, unless they're in a zoo. They're mostly located in western regions where acacia is, it's a certain plant that they eat. They're mostly in savannas and open woodland. They can live up to 8 to 50 kilometers and do not mind if other animals live with them. Giraffes look like very tall horses, or a combination of a camel and a leopard. They are the tallest animal in the world. What? They can go up to 20 feet tall and can weigh about 30,000 pounds. Giraffes are like your fingerprint. Each coat is unique. Their coat comes in beige, brown, orange, and even a reddish tint. In fact, as males grow older, their spots darken, so you can even determine the age just by looking at it. Anyway, to sum it all up, giraffes are important. Giraffes are unique because of their importance, appearance, and habitat. And after hearing this, I hope you have a better understanding of what a giraffe is and might have taken a better liking to it.
Are giraffes one of your favorite animals?
Yes, they're my favorite animals.
What gave you the idea to write this?
I actually don't know. When they said you had to pick a topic, I came home and when I went into my room, I saw a giraffe, this little picture of a giraffe in the corner. I'm like, I'm going to do my speech about giraffes. So,
Thank you.
The Met, the Museum of Natural History, the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building, even the $1,000 pizza, from art museums to really overpriced food. New York City offers some pretty cool stuff. I should know because I've already been there. The only question is, have you? If not, I'm here to convince you to go. I've heard that some people don't want to go to New York because it's too crowded, maybe a little bit scary. But I think New York is great and the people are really friendly too. The museums in New York are really amazing, especially the Metropolitan Museum of Art, or the Met. It's one of the largest art museums in the world. Before you think, an art museum, I'll tell you the Met has awesome things to see. It has Picasso's, Van Gogh's, Greek statues, Egyptian stuff, even old swords with cool gold designs. The rice itself is a fairly flat rice out and back across the island for a full 3.1 miles in the hot August sun at 7 p.m. Yet hot, the rice is still extremely fun. There are still many, many more reasons to go to St. George Island and all are great. They're not the only reasons to visit. These are the ones I always enjoy when I visit SGI. I sincerely encourage you to go to St. George Island and have a blast.
Yep. Have you ever been to St. George Island?
Intense debates and family rifts on this subject. Which is better, pancakes or waffles? My name is Samuel Talovich, and today I am here to set the record straight. You may think the decision is not easy, but when you really think about it, it is obvious. Waffles are better. Being a waffle aficionado, it is easy for me to see exactly why waffles are the best. The crispy layer of pure delight, and the warm, hidden treasure of fluffy batter within. Yet some will argue that pancakes are better. I concur that pancakes are tasty, but unfortunately, they are like a sponge when you put syrup on them. They soak it all up, and the pancake falls apart. Waffles, on the other hand, have a unique shape. They look like a pancake that has been hit with a tennis racket, and between each checkered shape is an indent. Because of the waffle's crispy layer, these little indents are the perfect vessels for syrup, and the syrup does not seep into the waffle, causing a soggy mess. Waffles are also more versatile. They're not just for breakfast. A waffle can also make a delicious dessert. Take a waffle, top with ice cream, fresh strawberries, a little bit of whipped cream, and bam, pure awesomeness. Waffles are also compact, portable, and a great breakfast on the go for busy moms. But more importantly, there's the waffle cone. Let's just take a moment, let it sink in, and wipe our drool. In 1904, the World Fair was held in St. Louis, Missouri, and a waffle vendor changed how we get ice cream forever by making the heavenly waffle cone, a byproduct of the waffle. The ice cream vendor ran out of cups to put ice cream in, so a waffle vendor took a waffle, wrapped it up in a cone shape, and gave it to the ice cream vendor to put ice cream in, making what we now know as the waffle cone. Pure genius! Overall, waffles have many reasons for being superior over the lowly pancake. Shape, taste, versatility, and byproducts. I thank you for your time and attention while I presented my speech. So the next time you're sitting down to breakfast and your parents ask you, pancakes or waffles? The answer should be obvious. Waffles. Thank you.
My hero, Evan Earl Ducey II, died on September 19th, 2015. He was my grandfather. He was also a very strong Christian, helped a lot of people as a child through his medical career and even at his death. As a child, he was a very godly person. He had a mother and a father, a brother and a sister. His sister was adopted. At that time, my grandfather and my great-uncle, Bobby Ducey, wanted a puppy. Someone at the hospital where my great-grandfather worked had a baby, and my great-aunt was born. The lady who had her couldn't keep her, so my great-grandfather came home and explained the problem. In the end, they all agreed to adopt the baby. Later, my grandfather took after my great-grandfather as a doctor. He spent a total of 12 years, 4 years in the University of Florida, 4 years in medical school, 4 years in residency, studying medical information he needed to become a doctor. Finally, after 12 years of studying, he was ready to start his career. He helped deliver a number of babies and was very good at it. Years later, he would start his own medical clinic to teach young medical scholars. Life was great until disaster struck. My grandfather got mesothelioma, a rare lung cancer caused by exposure to asbestos, which doesn't commonly occur in Florida due to no enormous chip ports. My grandfather tried so many treatments, he even had to go up to Philadelphia, where mesothelioma more commonly occurred. The doctors up in Philadelphia did a good job slowing down the reproduction of the cancer cells. They didn't stop the reproduction of the cancer cells. So, eventually, my grandfather got sicker and sicker and sicker still. He got so sick so fast that the doctors down here in Florida couldn't do anything about it. As he lay there dying, I went to go visit him. I got him up to speed on the stuff I was doing, such as earning new patches in Royal Rangers, getting good grades at school, and the tennis matches that I won. He tried to say my name,
but his throat is being shut down by cancer cells. A few hours later, he breathed his last breath and died. Because of him, I know so many facts that I can't even remember some. Because of him, I'm actually smart. Because of him, now that he's gone, all I can do is keep reminding myself that I'll see him again up there.
What are some things that you and your grandfather have in common?
Well, we're both very smart, and we like science.
What are life lessons that he taught you?
Never think you can't do anything.
Thank you.
Middle school is a time of freedom, happiness, hanging out with your friends, and getting a great education. Even though middle school is great in its ways, it is ranked the top grade that bullies the most. I know a lot about this because I have been bullied before, and I feel that it's not okay. Have you ever been bullied before? Well, then you know that it hurts. So let me tell you about the first time I have ever been bullied. It all started when I was 5 and this bully started messing with me. My only friend and I at summer camp were hanging by the pool, and here the devil daughters came. "Move, you little mutt," she said. I ignored her as she continued to ramble on. "Get out of the way," she said. I then again ignored. Phew, it's all over, I thought. As the happy me walked down the lunch line, she came up to me talking trash. "My boyfriend gonna beat you up. Yeah, you going down," she said. Stupid me shouted, "Why your boyfriend going to beat me up? You're scared and he's going to jail." She turned around and had an evil glance on her face that could stop you dead in your tracks. She said, "I'll see you when camp lets out." She took my lunchbox, broke my Rubik's Cube, smushed my sandwich. Uh-oh. For the next few days, I didn't know what to do. I had been joked on, talked about, teased, pushed on the ground, and hit. Today was the day she was going to beat me up. The time was almost up. Tick-tock, tick-tock. She got all up in my face and bam! She punched me continuously as I fell. I said, "You can hit me all you want, but what does it solve?" She stopped and thought about it for a moment, and then surprisingly, she held me up and said with tears in her eyes, "Sorry." She then gave me a hug and hung out with me and was very nice. My worst enemy became one of my best friends that I still talk to today. Bullying is a real problem that leads to children's injuries, hurt feelings, and even death. Middle school hurts even more than just a 5-year-old getting beat up by an 8-year-old. Doesn't it hurt when you're in pain? Before you think about hurting someone or someone hurting you, stop and think about, what does it solve?
What were you thinking when she first started bullying you?
I thought that I didn't know what I was going to do. Like, I was just really scared.
How did you get the idea?
I got the idea because my friend, she used to get bullied at the beginning of the year.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. In this modern day of technology, it's comforting to hear people speak instead of text sometimes. So keep up the good work and keep practice speaking, because speaking will not go out of style. We've had 8 tracks, they left. Cassette tapes, they left. CDs, they pretty much on their way out. And now we got the cloud. Well, public speaking has been here through all those, and it will remain, because you need to learn how to speak effectively and transmit a thought. So keep up the good work and keep practicing. Right now, I would like to thank my student MC, Ms. Fiona. Let's give her a hand. And I'd like to present her with a small token of our appreciation. So, come on. In order to recognize more speakers for their outstanding work, we place each speech in one of 5 categories. The 5 categories of speeches include to inform, which means to explain, teach, or give facts; to persuade, gain support, convince; to inspire, stir emotion, emotional impact; to entertain, humorous, make you laugh; or most original topic. Once the judges determine the top 4 speakers of the day, they recognize the speeches in the various categories as well. And they were chosen as follows. Receiving the trophy for the best informative speech is Abby Reed Community Christian School. Receiving the trophy for best persuasive speech, John Miller David, Western Middle. Receiving the trophy for best inspirational speech, Miles Johnson, Community Leadership Academy. Receiving the trophy for most humorous speech, Austin Rayborn, Swift Creek Middle School. Receiving the trophy for most original topic, Meredith Cameron, Homeschool. Receiving honorable mention, plaque, Desmond Nelson, Fort Brady. Third place plaque, India Lincecone, Cobb Middle School. Sorry, said the name wrong. Receiving the second place plaque, Samuel Talovich, Florida State University School. And receiving the first place roving trophy and plaque, complimentary trip to 4-H camp this summer, and the Leon County representative of the 4-H district competition will be held in May, is, and I want to remind you, don't forget to get the stars up here on the board, okay? Don't forget to get the stars and take those home with you. They're very special. And the first place winner goes to, let me get my glasses. I don't want to do it Steve Harvey up here, as I said earlier. Make sure we get the right name. I don't have to go on TV. First place, roving trophy, plaque, trip to camp, and participant in the district contest is Rachel Miller, Fairview Middle School. Once again, we thank you for coming. Please don't forget to get your star. And we encourage all of you to keep speaking, keep encouraging our youth to speak. Thank you for everyone that came out today and helped make the program a success.